I'll call the Finance Committee meeting to order. We need to approve the minutes from September 3rd.
Move for approval.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? There are none. Motion passes. All right, is Karen coming today? Karen, oh, there she is. That's right there in front of me.
Good morning.
Hi.
I'm really nervous because I don't do this often. Corey used to do most of this for me, so I'm learning even after a long time. But I am Karen Potter. I'm director of the Wayne Union County CASA program. We are here to create a discretionary fund because the Wayne County Sheriff's Department has very kindly chosen us as benefactors of their pumpkin fundraiser this year. So it needs to go into a discretionary fund, and I really don't remember the number on it. 91 something, I think.
4109. There we go.
Yes.
Yeah. So we just need to create that fund. And it's gonna be called donations, right?
Donations CASA.
Donations CASA, okay. Do we have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second to create Fund 4109. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? There are none. See? That was easy, wasn't it?
Perfectly easy, thank you.
Yeah. We'll all be missing Corey for a long time, probably, just getting all these kind of things taken care of.
Took good care of me, that's for sure.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Next up, Liz Bain from Superior One. She's still here.
Didn't Corey always do these two?
Corey probably did these two.
There's Adam.
There's Adam.
Oh, there's Adam. Hi, Adam. Do you want to handle her transfer? Do you know what it is?
I do not.
Okay, it's
but-
all right. They just need to transfer in Superior One, $7,000 from legal services to medical testing, and $8,540 from training and education to dues. So they're just running short in a couple of their lines and transferring some money.
Move we approve the transfers as requested.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? There are none.
Adam, can we work out with the courts if they're going to continue having you do that? Or if not, they need to have someone here?
I'll clarify that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, sometimes we need an explanation of their transfers. All right, Sheriff Redder. He's got a couple.
Pull a chair up.
I know, it's like a book. Just tell us what's going on. Yeah, let's talk about overtime.
Sure. So overtime, probably the largest one is the jail. And as you recall, in 2024, the starting balance for the overtime was $200,000. In 2025, council decided to roll that back to $125,000, which kind of put us into a difficult position. But as excuse me, as we continue to have some openings in the jail staff, that allows us to transfer some of that money to cover the costs that are created in overtime by filling the positions that are still open. The good news is those positions have dwindled now to, I believe there's only 6 openings in the jail. My goal is, before I leave office, is to have the jail fully staffed.
Today or next year?
Depends on how quick you're trying to get rid of them.
Yeah.
So, but things are going better in terms of staffing, but they're not complete. The one of the other nemesis that I deal with currently and not showing any signs of getting any better are the transports of inmates to either medical appointments while we provide security while they're in other facilities, and the mental health transports, which have been a thorn in my side. So, but I will say too that and I need to follow up with QCC, our medical care provider, they have agreed to start helping us with billing on the mental health transports, which is allowable by state statute. Our good representative, Dr. Barrett, sponsored that bill, and he and I worked together to get that passed. So we hope to be able to start billing for some of those as it's appropriate, and that money would then come back to the county to help facilitate some of these overtime costs.
Randy, can I ask, do you happen to know, like since the 1st of January to now, on the medical or the mental health transports, what's the number? Where were you and what have you gone up to? I mean, has it increased like 50% or 10% or any clue?
I really wasn't prepared for that question, but what I will say is that they're daily, and we are experiencing, and I'm only going by previous knowledge, but you know we're doing mental health transports anywhere from 3 to 7 and 8 a week, and it does vary. So you know we have several hundred every year.
And they're not all just here in Richmond either, right?
Well, and that's a critical issue. They go anywhere from as close as Indianapolis to as far as Evansville and Crown Point. So we transport them all over the state.
Sheriff's staff, it may not just be one person, it could be 3 or 4. And they may have to drive all the way up to Crown Point, and then they got to turn around and go to Indianapolis to drop somebody off there, which are all court ordered.
Yeah.
And it may take more than, have you done 3 officers at a time? I know when I was out at my previous employer, you guys would maybe pick up 4 or 5, and you would have 2 or 3 officers. For officer safety, you would have that many staff to be able to transport.
Absolutely. The addition of the one extra transport officer has helped tremendously, but it still is not enough in some cases.
I think our thought last year was by adding that extra transport person, that would be the need of less overtime. That doesn't seem to have worked out.
Unfortunately, again, the medical transfers, out of our facility into other medical facilities is probably the biggest draw on that. But it has helped in terms of taking care of the court's problems as well. They require quite a few transfers, which we do on a routine basis, but it's still a big draw on our staff.
So this request for these different funds to be transferred here, do you anticipate that'll cover till the end of the year?
That's what our projection is, and I know when I talked to Mr. Ritter earlier, preceding the meeting, I think there was a little bit of confusion. Not all of the transfers are going into the jail. There are 2 separate transfers, one to enforcement and one to jail. Wanted to make sure that was understood too. So projection is, it is my projection, yes, that this will cover us till the end of the year.
And all this transfer involving in the jail, not the enforcement division.
There's 2 separate ones. There is a transfer to go into enforcement overtime.
Is that the first one from the lieutenant to the overtime?
That's correct. Yeah, that's the 11,850,0005, which is the enforcement budget, and then the 0380 is the jail budget.
So maybe we should take these 5 lots on each transfer, or do you want to take the whole list all together?
Have you compared the transfer sheets to what's on the
Yes.
agenda?
Yes.
So I just want to clarify, so it's $40,000 in overtime, if I'm adding these up right, 40,000 going into the jail for overtime, right?
No,
No, just the opposite.
It's the opposite, so the 98,000 is going to the jail.
Correct.
And how short are we in staff there?
In the jail, 6, I
Six
believe is the
short.
current. Yeah.
So I'll make the motion that we approve the transfers as outlined on the agenda that Beth has compared for into the jail, transfers in the jail budget and in the enforcement budget as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? There is none. All these transfers will happen. Thank you.
Can I ask the sheriff a question?
Yes, sir.
With all of these transfers, do you perceive anything that you're transferring the account from and to, that account will run into, have to be dealt with if it's going to go into the red by the end of the year? In other words, if you're taking money from each of these, does it leave you funds in those categories to pay the bills that you'll have for the rest of the year?
Yes, and particularly on any of the line items that are staffing, salary line items, I've ensured that there's sufficient funds to, if we had that position full, to be able to run that position to the end of the year.
Okay. With all of these, I was just curious whether any of these could possibly go into the red that you're transferring from.
I don't believe so. I think we've checked and double checked to make sure it hasn't happened. Thank you.
Thank you.
So that motion covered all the janitorial?
Well, that's what he
I thought
said,
we were
everything
talking-
on the agenda. Did you want to take them separately?
Well, I had some questions on the janitorial
He
supplies.
can answer
which is-
those. We can
Yeah, I
reverse
assumed
our
that's what we were
decision.
doing, was taking it for the entire, all of it.
It's okay. He can still answer questions.
Yeah, so it seems like an awful lot of money being transferred just for janitorial supplies and services.
Yeah, and I agree. And it's unfortunate. We had started a contract earlier in the year with Cintas. We sat down with their representatives and spoke with them at length, went through the numbers. We gave them our budgets. We gave them what our expenditures were, and they assured us that they would save us money. And they showed us how they were going to save us money. And then when the bills started coming in, they were exorbitant. And we met with them. I've met with them personally 3 times this year trying to get that corrected. And I'm at a point now where I am going to uphold the contract, which we have, but I'm going to be paying at a minimum rate, which I believe is $125 a month of products. We literally, and I complained to them, we literally were at about 80% of our budget at the midpoint of the year. And I just told them that wasn't satisfactory. So, which all of that put us in a crunch. And what I'm trying to do is get us through to the end of the year by transferring some of this money to make sure that we have enough. And then going into next year, we're going to go back to our old vendors that we had used historically.
Too bad we could have changed sooner than have to wait till the end of the year.
I agree, and they continued to give us a song and dance and promise that they were going to be able to give us a credit back and readjust some of that. And we, at least the first time, took them at their face, or took them at face value, and got fooled twice. It won't happen again.
So we're honoring the contract on our side, but it doesn't sound like they're honoring the contract from their side.
Well, you could perceive it that way.
Okay.
So Barry, is that gonna be a problem for the 2026 budget? Does that need to be reviewed? Okay.
Not if he changes vendors.
Planning to change vendors, like I said, we'll order the minimum amount to be able to honor that contract and switch vendors for everything else.
Is the contract carry a monetary value, or is it supplies as needed? How's that contract structured?
It does have a minimum monetary value that, like I said, I think it's $125 per month, I believe is the minimum. And then they are supposedly providing as needed. I'm not sure if I answered your question exactly.
Well, if we have a contract, was the contract for $25,000 for the entire year? Was it $100,000?
No, yeah, it was as needed. They were to come in and monitor our levels and our stockpiles kept piling up. We were getting way too much product at first, so that's when we started dialing that back, trying to get credit, and we just couldn't get the numbers to work out.
In other words, they create a stockpile for you of supplies that you really didn't need at the time.
That's partially true, well, that's completely true, but some of the other expenses were also, I wouldn't say hidden. I don't think they were fully disclosed, at least to my knowledge.
Sheriff, is there a stipulation in the contract that states that you can take legal action against them if they're not fulfilling their side of the contract?
Yes, and I think proving that they're not fulfilling that could be a challenge, but it's certainly worth review.
Was the contract primarily for provision of supplies, or was it provision of services with supplies as needed? Was it a mixed contract?
It was, and that's another issue that they were supposed to come in and provide services in terms of stocking and refilling. They even talked about refilling like the toilet paper rolls, in the dispensers, and that hasn't happened either. So I'd be happy to forward that to you and discuss it.
Any other questions?
It's just a large number. It's
It's a lot.
well over $30,000 we're talking about here, which is hard to fathom being off that much.
Any other questions for Sheriff Ryan? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Brent Meadows.
He said he would be here, but I can speak on it. Do my best.
You can speak on this if you want.
Yeah. I talked to him.
Good.
But he said he's only here, so I don't know if something came up.
We could wait and see if he comes in and take some of the others.
That's fine.
I'm not saying.
We can if we want to
I
see
mean,
if
it's
we can.
the bottom line are the cell phones.
Yeah, that's the.
Yeah, not bottom line.
But we can wait. I just have a question for the commissioners. If people buy phones for their department, do they have to come to you to ask for permission to purchase things like that?
No.
Okay, just asking. Do you wanna just take it? And, I mean, they're transferring it from other lines in their own budget, but that's up to council if you wanna wait and see if he comes.
Let's wait and see if he comes.
Okay, thank you. Next up, Mr. Tim Smith.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I have a letterhead. Can I give that to you? Just make sure.
Sure can.
Apologize you didn't have it sooner, but I may have more than needed there. Actually, let me have one of those myself. I got it in my notes, but I want to make sure I'm telling you right. That way we're looking all at the same thing here. I'm sure this will be strange, I'm not asking for anything additional per se. This is a revision to the original request we made a couple months ago.
And we're talking about things for the 26 budget?
Yes, 26 budget. Max, you had came down to the office one day, he was asking me about the Fund 1131, the sales disclosure fund, after our original request. Typically, I've never dealt with that, so Jenny and I sat down and discussed. We already had some changes made, but we, as you'll see there on that letterhead, from County General, we're actually asking for the contractual line there, 33200, to be reduced from what it currently is to $330,000. And then have from Fund 1131, we usually have appropriated 12,000. It's typically never touched, but we're just going to see if we can have an additional to change that line anyway from $12,000 to $56,000 from that Fund 1131. And the reason for that is that sales disclosure fund is limited on what you can do with it, but one of the main items that we can pay is computer software, and that's around, I haven't seen the bill yet, there's usually a little inflationary cost with it, but to cover that, we could cover that from the sales disclosure fund as opposed to out of county.
So Trent, moving to 56,000, that's just replacing the reduction from the general
Yes.
fund.
Instead of paying the contractual part to the software vendor, just reduce it out of county general and just pay it out of the sales disclosure fund, 1131. And just asking for an additional appropriation to cover that cost.
Is there enough funds coming into that to sustain that like in future years, or what's the?
I believe, I don't recall the exact number, I think there's 93,000, pushing $94,000 in that fund. Each sale we get, there's funds that go in that, and so it's going to be a fund that you don't know exactly how much is going to be in there from year to year. But again, we're not asking for all of it, just part of it, and keeping some back in the event of something like this occurring again.
I'll do it.
So,
I'd like to say that that budget's already been published through Gateway. You can reduce it, but you cannot increase it.
It's kind of higher.
We don't want to increase it. They're just gonna spend that money out of the fund line next year.
No, he wants to send it from County General to Fund 1131.
Oh,
But
you want-
1131
what
was
is it over
already
there?
published for like 15,000.
no,
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 that's not what he wants to do.
So what? It's not what I
I
understand.
don't understand then what he's,
He's reducing his contractual line in the budget,
right.
Okay.
Asking
so it's going to be
for-
less.
And pay it out.
And then you're gonna pay for something next year
It's a
out of the
different
fund,
fund.
Okay.
a discretionary
1131.
fund.
Yes,
Okay.
discretionary fund.
So it's not 1131.
Fund 1131, yes.
1131 was published like 15,000, so you cannot make it 56.
you cannot,
You can do an additional.
We can do an additional appropriation in
Next year.
January.
In January.
You can't do it now.
I'm not asking to do it.
He's
I'm
asking to do it
for
next
year's
year.
budget.
Or next year, doing additional appropriation or?
Uh-huh.
For 26, yes.
We can take care of that.
Did you give them one of these so they could see that?
I did not, but I can and create it.
Here, why don't you give them mine? When I get Kathy's here, I can look at it.
And then, Tim, so what you're proposing is currently the advertised in the general fund and contractual is $380,000.
Right.
You're recommending we just drop that by $50,000.
Yeah, originally it was 360, I believe, and the original request I made, I think we reduced our budget by 16,000, but asked for 20, so there's like a net increase of $4,000 to cover inflationary costs of contractual. But after Max and I believe Beth had asked about the sales disclosure fund, I never really had ever dealt with that particular fund. I said, let's just revise this, let's reduce that contractual and pay, at least this year, pay our software
Out of your fund.
out of the sales disclosure fund.
Well, you'll pay it out of two funds, partially.
Yeah.
Both,
Yeah.
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 Well, as
Normally, we're only appropriate, I think it's 12,000 from that,
So why, again, just help me here, why? I mean, it's so contractual.
But it's not out of the general fund.
It's a discretionary
But
fund
we're
that
gonna
we
be-
can spend on that, so we're able to reduce our general fund budget
Yeah, I've got
by $50,000.
I think originally, there's only like 4 items you can spend from the sales disclosure fund.
Yeah, you sent that out.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think, again, the main one would be software. You can use it for training, but it's very limited what you can do with that particular, or the monies in that 1131 fund.
Well, as we get into budgets today, and we're going to continue cutting, I think you coming before us and handing $50,000 back is
That's
to be
great.
commended.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I
Well, we was
think-
trying to keep it as equal as possible originally, but then we seen that there's a way to do this. If it's there, we might as well, I didn't want to drain it. You know, it's nice to have there for, in the event of another software issue coming up or whatever. Not that this is an issue, it's just a annual fee, but
So I think that you have that to your January list of action items.
I already have it written down. So, question on that next item on your letter here, the 33,890 training says remain at 3,000. Are you gonna pay that training also out of?
there's
Discretionary
always,
fund?
there's a training number in that 1131 fund. It's
Is there?
for, yeah.
Okay,
it's
because you
always
have
been there.
1,500 in your budget also.
Right.
Okay, so that all stays the
We
same.
just thought we'd leave it that way.
Okay,
That's just for an event, but who knows with the way legislation's been, we don't know what they're gonna change, and there may be some
I know.
special training for
Okay.
sales disclosures, so. it's all
okay,
just-
so you plan on paying that also out of that fund?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Is the sale disclosure fees the same regardless of the value of the,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. There's just a fee per sales disclosure.
okay.
You'll want to come to us
In that fund.
January.
in January, and we'll have to advertise this and.
Okay. Okay.
Okay?
Not a problem.
We can't just, we won't automatically do it, but it's something on our radar, okay?
No, but I automatically deduct 50,000.
We will automatically.
I just did it too.
It's already happened.
So I just need to come and ask for the appropriation. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
because we'll have to advertise it and then, do it at our next meeting, just to get that all done.
You know, Max had asked, and I think I talked to you, spoke with you about it. And I said,
Yeah.
Hey, let's just
Why
do
not?
this, let's just do it,
Exactly.
something I had never really addressed. So,
Thank you very much.
all right,
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
thank you.
Appreciate you taking care of that.
Dan Burke. Come on down.
You think that was confusing?
What we did that, but I don't understand if we do additional appropriation now.
We're not doing that now.
I know, but
Next year.
if you ask for it now, we need to
We're
put
not
the
asking
budget.
for it now.
Not this year.
We're gonna
We will ask
ask you
for
in
it in
January.
January.
Yes, yeah.
Because otherwise we will need to put it to budget like additional appropriation asked this year.
That'll be,
We're not gonna handle
So all
that
you
until
have
next
to,
year.
For January.
yeah, all you need to worry about is the contractual of reducing it by 50,000.
In January.
No, right now. We're gonna
So the
reduce.
very top part of the agenda where it says budget line,
You want to just reduce it, you don't want to have the second part.
33,200 is 380, and we need to make it 330.
So we should do it now?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
So Bobby needs to make a note to advertise that.
In
Well, I told
January.
him to come back and ask
Yeah,
us for
she-
it, but, so we can advertise it and then he can
Yeah.
come back.
I want to see if he has the money.
Okey dokey. Thank you, Dan.
Which budget do you want to start with first?
pick
Let's go
Is it-
1159, the county health
Okay.
department budget. So in this budget, the only change that has been made was obviously the salary padding was put in there. And then what we discussed earlier with the public health nurse. So that money was moved from contractual up to the 1,000 lines to the personnel line. So depending on council's decision, that money will remain there or move back to 33,200 line.
We're getting there, just give us a
I
moment.
know, say that one.
Sorry.
Just give us a second. It's on our other spreadsheets, we have to go back and forth.
So if you look at line 10955 and 1159, that's the public health nurse position. That's what we discussed earlier during the personnel committee. If council approves that position to go back to county, that's, the budget will remain the same as it is now. If council chooses to leave it contractual, then we'll need to remove those funds from the personnel line 10955 and put them back in 33,200. And then we'll have to do the same thing as Tim discussed in January to move to appropriate $30,000 since we can go up to cover the rest of that position. Like I said, I did remove the bookkeeper's position. She resigned in August, so that will not be filled for 2026.
But that's already been taken out.
We've taken that out,
Correct,
right?
that is, yeah. Yep. So that is the only potential change. There's no changes at this moment, but the potential change makes all of the council's decision.
And those changes would not need to be made until 2026 if we take action and approve the transfer. Then money will be transferred.
Yeah, I would leave it.
And you guys, we're gonna wait to see what Erwin says and things like that
A
too.
lot
so.
can happen between now and then.
I hope not.
Okay, what else do you have?
All right, so we move on to 1161. This is where my rookiness made a mistake here. I over appropriated 1161 for 2026. And I did that intentionally without knowing that DLGF wouldn't approve the budget. Okay? So I put too much money in the contractual line, and my thought process behind that was I'll put it, because I didn't know what my carryover was going to be, I'll just put this big number in contractual and come 2026. If it's not close to that, then I'll just remove it out and work with what I have. So I didn't know that was the wrong move to make. So to correct this, we have to remove appropriations from this year's budget to make my cash balance for 2026 essentially match the budget I submitted.
So you need to de-appropriate
Correct.
money
For
for
Quite a-
2025.
From 25's budget, so I carry that cash into 26.
Okay.
So, and then once 26 rolls around, or even prior to that, we'll have to reduce the 33,200 line down. We'll have to reduce it a little bit to make it down. I can't remember what exactly it is now.
So it
We
is
have-
374.92.
Yeah, we'll have to reduce it to 370, so it's about 130, give or take, $130,000 reduction. And that should give me a total balance of $935,367, and that will be pretty close to what my cash balance will carry over into 2026 is. It will be actually a little less than what my cash
So
balance.
what's the amount you need to de-appropriate?
In total, $520,437.59.
Is that in more than one line item?
Most definitely. It is in,
Yeah,
Do you have those?
He gave us.
we already, yeah, he
That's
already
what's-
gave it to us
Yeah.
It
before.
was in the email.
I've read that.
The numbers match up. It's good.
Okay.
So we need to advertise to do that.
I think Bobby's
Or has that
already
been
done.
done?
It's done for workshop.
Yeah.
It's done for workshop? Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And this, the workshop this time is on
16th.
Thursday the 16th, not Wednesday.
She'll send me the email.
We just had to change that date, so it is on Thursday and not Wednesday night. Okay, anything else?
No, ma'am, that's it.
You're doing a good job, Dan, thank you.
I'm trying. I'll learn from my mistakes. Thank you.
You got a lot handed to you.
That's right.
All right, Mr. Brandon Sanders, good morning.
Morning, Brandon.
Yeah, I bet you're not giving us 50,000, are you?
I wish I was.
You say you're giving $1 million?
I wish I was. Okay, I just had a couple things before you. I think we talked about this back in August when I was reviewing the proposed budget for next year. I don't think those changes and corrections got made. So the first one was 1135 22400. It's our bridge and structural materials. Our intent was to reduce that by 30,000 and to put that into 1135 33670, the equipment services contract to pay for the engineer's portion of the biolytics contract. I did see a note that there was a date of 8/25, but the amounts weren't adjusted.
So now that I have the spreadsheet pulled up, start back.
Yes, from 150 then down to 150.
Yeah, so 22400,
Yeah,
that should be reduced to 120,000.
it is.
It is.
That was done in August.
Okay.
Good job,
I was
Raising.
looking on my printout this morning, so, okay. What about line item 33670?
670 is 52,000.
Okay, well, that's an easy fix. The other question I had was on, let's see, line item 60030.
Read that number.
60030.
Esteve Road.
Yeah, staff.
Yeah, Esteve Road. Okay, yeah, so right now it's showing 300,000. That should be account 60039, bridge 307, not 37. 37 was one we did a couple years ago.
So this one should be 300,000?
Yes,
You want
that's
to
correct.
switch from that to that?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, because it was the gravel pit bridge was the one that we're going to be applying for community crossings on. We got an
That's what you
opportunity
felt, guys.
this year to apply for that
So this
community
one-
crossings on the gravel pit road. The Esteve Road Bridge was completed a couple years ago, so
Okay,
So we're zero.
this one will be 0 then.
yeah, that one should be zero.
What was the line item for that to move to?
Moving to 60039.
The gravel pit
Very
road.
last one.
Yeah, the very last
So
one.
we're moving that 300,000 down there.
Correct,
Okay.
yeah, that's where it should be.
Well, that's better than adding money.
Yes.
You're doing okay.
Not adding, just, so we've got an opportunity, community crossings is a little bit later this year due to the legislative changes. So I'm starting the formal process with commissioners this week to request to apply for a grant and then see what we can do. So I will be back, hopefully at workshop for that financial commitment letter if you guys want to support the project, so. And that's all I've got.
That wasn't so bad, was it? Everything else in your budget looks good?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Just checking.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, Brent Meadows never showed up, so Misty, if you want to, if you have anything to say about this, you can. If not, we've all been dealing with this for a little while.
Yeah, so the coroner and I spoke regarding his request. As we all know, he added every investigator or staff member to have cell phones. So this is to cover those expenses. My understanding is this is hopefully to cover through the end of the year.
Yeah, because he raised his budget amount for next year, so,
Cell phones,
yeah.
Yes.
how does that compare with the radio equipment devices that have been set aside for the coroner?
they're using these. If you remember in 24, the previous corner, we moved to smartphones. This is what they're using for photographs now instead of using cameras and film.
Correct.
And so it's separate. Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Darrow, none. Motion passes. And I want to talk about the claim that was sent in for the autopsies. It's listed as our one-time money, and do we want to take that from contingency instead? Is it valid to you
That was our
guys?
intention. I think we discussed that. And in fact, Bobby's already changed it.
Okay,
to
good.
that, and I've
Okay.
signed that, so
All right, that's good.
that leaves the one-time April that we can
Where is that?
de-appropriate if we need to.
Okay, that's perfect. All right, so,
I do have one thing on the corner, Misty. We have a chance, I think we need to emphasize to him that before he commits the county to purchasing things that he doesn't have the money for, that he needs to come here, not after the fact.
okay,
At some point, he could buy something that he has to return. We don't
Okay.
see that being appropriate.
okay, will do. All right. Okay. Barry needs a 5-minute break.
And we also need to remember that we need to recess
At
at
10.
10 o'clock for an executive session and reassemble after that if we're not.
Okay, we'll take a short break and we'll be right back to finance. Mr. Ritter would like to go, starting at the clerk and right across the tabs. He's in the cutting mood, so everybody watch out.
Wait, Madam Chair.
Yes.
I just want to make sure, I received, I'll make sure I'm on the same page here. I received from Max budget that said 10-3. Is that
Yes.
what we're looking at today?
That's what we're looking at today.
Okay. And then I just want to make, what was weird to me, and I want to make sure we're all on the same page on this too. The last budget that we worked off of at the workshop, when I look at the summary, was less than what we're starting with today. So under a line that says 2026 adopted budget, it has 44 million. I just want to make sure we all have that same number, because that is different than what we, so were there any changes from the last meeting?
We allowed Dan Burke's things to all be changed because there were so many of them and to have it all ready for today.
Okay, okay,
And,
okay. All right.
I don't know if there was anybody.
The raises?
I think it was just health
But
department.
the raises
The raises
were-
aren't here yet,
Okay.
but we have a placeholder in there for raises right now that all has to change.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Because we have to decide on raises.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
And sorry, so the goal is to get back to 2025, what was it?
That would be amazing.
Okay.
I don't know if
We're
we'll get all the
amazing.
way.
We can do
We
that.
can do that. With Barry and the Moody's in, we might. All right.
Thank you.
So
Let's start with the clerk's budget.
They're showing
then.
about a $4 million cut, so
Yeah.
get your pencil out. However, starting in the clerk's budget, we're going to add back in that we had a conversation about line item 13120 per diem. And Tara and I had to do work, and Tara worked with the election commission to try and identify what that was for and talk to previous clerks. That per diem is part of 2 per diems that the clerks qualify for as in IC 3-7-12-22. This particular per diem, $2,600, is paid to county clerks for serving as chair of the election board.
So we put it all back?
And so that 2688 should be restored. Now, within that same statute, there is a second per diem that is permissive that we could pay, but if you recall, that was the additional per diem or stipend that the clerk asked for previously, and we denied.
we're not doing that. It's just restoring the 2688.
And you're saying we have to do that it's not our
Yeah.
choice?
Correct. It's
Well, we were under the guise that it was for meals and stuff like that, and that's not what it was for. It was for being the head of the election board. It's a stipend for that, so
And
we
what-
have to do that.
And
it's in the
what
statute.
was interesting about that is that's what the clerks reported they had used it for, but it was actually added to their gross income and they were taxed on it, so it's their income. They
Yeah.
can use it however they want.
So if this is for being president of the election board, why is it not in the election board budget versus
Well, voter registration is intertwined in the general fund budget throughout this budget.
Yeah.
I can't tell you why
Well,
it's
because
here.
probably because it's paid to the clerk, and this is the clerk's
I was gonna
budget.
say, for reporting purposes, they probably have to have its own separate line item.
It's always been in this budget, I guess. It looks like in all the previous years.
So my recommendation would be to restore that for,
She already did it.
Is there a way that we can put a note on that particular, when it says per diem, is there a way we can put a note on that so we know?
can we change the title from per
Yeah.
diem to election
Election
chair?
Yeah, it should.
Yeah.
Can we
And that
change
would
the
explain
title,
it.
Simona? I know sometimes that's
Yeah,
hard.
we can
We
change
can?
it.
Okay.
What are you gonna change it to then, Celine?
What would you like?
election board.
Okay.
Like,
I'm sorry, what do you want me to call it?
Elected chairperson,
Or elected board chair?
Okay.
or election board, I'm sorry.
Election board.
Yeah, not election.
Can we call it this, a stipend? That's what it is, the election board stipend, so we know what that means.
Election board chair?
Is that what you said?
You ought to listen to this chair because you get confused.
Chair,
The election
okay.
board, so.
Election board chairman, you could say election board chairman stipend.
Okay, I'll write this down for the 5th time.
All type A personalities up here.
I know, everybody's like,
this is an election board
election
chairman
board
stipend.
chairman stipend. Let's go with that. That's long, isn't
Or
it?
we could say,
And you guys say I'm anal?
We do.
I agree.
We got enough room on the line for that. Everybody's got their input. Anything else that you've talked to the clerk about that needs to be changed in this budget?
that was it, thank you.
So
Okay.
we've got all the positions eliminated or whatever from changes.
From that one?
Yeah, we
I
did
think so.
Back on the 17th.
Barry, Kim, did we get it resolved to everybody's satisfaction about how we're going to handle the new law that requires the clerk's office to be closed on election days for normal activities other than the election?
That has not been a topic of discussion.
We're working on it, Ron.
Okay.
We'll have it clarified.
Have to be closed?
For functions
public.
other than conducting the election, and that applies to both the general and the off-year election,
Okay.
starting in '25.
Okay, the next tab down there is the auditor's budget. Is there anything that we need to change in there? That one's set. Treasurer's budget, any ideas? What's the matter? Okay. Recorder's budget. Is everything good there? They pay the people out of the perpetuation fund and, that seems to be working out well. The sheriff's budget, I think, we changed, did we change anything in there this morning?
No.
I don't think so.
So we do have everything changed in here to change the organization and the garage.
Over the garage, yeah, I'll add all that, to the commissioners. Or from the commissioners to the sheriffs. That's why his is more,
Well, add in the contract for nursing staff.
that QCC contract is out of control.
Crazy.
And the Did we check the jail medical to make sure that we have that where it's supposed to be for the New Year's contract, for the new contract?
The what?
For the new contract that's going forward for the medical services in the jail?
I believe. Let me see. I think we addressed that already.
Okay.
Let me find it. Oh, it's in the jail.
It's in the
not
jail budget,
sheriff's.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not in the sheriff's. We'll check it when we get to the jail and make sure that amount was right.
Okay.
Anything else in the sheriff's budget?
Well,
Anyone
there's-
has questions on?
If push comes to shove and there are things that need to be cut as we work through today, there are some equipment line items that we could cut and then consider paying out of our contingency or one-time, even though they're not necessarily one-time expenses. It would be equipment that would be purchased if we had the money.
Such as?
Well, the field equipment supplies was increased. That's the rotation that they're starting on the mobile data terminals in the cars.
Tasers.
The tasers.
We've been trying to get him to add those things in his budget because then we don't have all the surprises during the year when they say, oh, a contract is up and things like that.
Yeah, that's true. However, if we have to cut, those are line items that we could cut and add to our list.
Add to our list.
And if the money is.
We don't have a list yet for 26.
But if we cut that, add to our list, the bottom line.
It's
on
still
general
a
fund
payment.
is no change.
Adding it to our list is not a guarantee that we're going to buy it. Adding it to the list is that if money, it's kind of like your home budget, if money exists, then we'll consider buying it. But it's not a guarantee.
Okay, I see what
It
you're
just
saying.
might.
Is that not something that has to be done up, mobile data terminals? Is that,
Well, it was our goal to get into a rotation, but
Yeah.
if we're cutting money, maybe we can.
If worse comes to worse, that's
Yeah.
an option.
because it is $30,000. We can write that down.
But I don't think we need to take it out of here until we find out we have to cut something.
Yeah,
Correct.
okay.
And that'll be sometime in December probably.
That's what he'll pretty record speed, we know where we're at.
All right, anything else in the sheriff's budget? Let's move over to surveyor. That was pretty cut and dry. A lot of people have seen increases in dues and subscriptions and things like that.
His total number is the same as last year.
All right, move over to the coroner's budget.
I think we did a lot of cutting in this one.
They're paid differently because all those deputies are basically paid their salary as a stipend and not just as a county employee, is that right?
They're in the salary ordinance and paid as a county employee.
Are they?
But it's not an hourly.
It's not an hourly
No.
rate or something though, it's different
Correct.
from most employees.
It's just divided by how many pays for the year, and that's what they.
Okay, that's what I was
Your
thinking.
total is divided, yes.
Yeah,
And that's the same for the deputy and the elected official, correct?
Correct.
so,
So what did we decide about the vehicle request? I think the note, I
That's
think I
up
saw
to
your
you.
notes.
that's up to the,
He came to Fleet Committee.
Okay.
Steve, correct me if I'm wrong, there was discussion amongst the Fleet Committee that the vehicle could be considered in '26 if the county had a vehicle that we could transfer. And there was also discussion about if monies were available, considering a used vehicle maybe in '26, but there was no action taken by Fleet for that to be added back in.
Okay.
it's not a necessity.
Right, the one van that they use for transport, it's got age on it, but it's, mechanically, it's in pretty good shape. And the the need for a third vehicle to transport people has not been justified at this point.
Thank you. So as far as the coroners wanting to be a full-time salary, I mean, I've done some looking into that, and the full-time coroners in our state have medical certifications, and they have a lot higher capabilities that they have to perform. And I don't see that in our county that that's what we have, and that the need to be full-time is justified. There's only 3 counties like ours that even have a full-time coroner, and I can't justify paying somebody full-time that doesn't have those extra medical training and capabilities.
But I will say from the counties that Irwin surveyed,
Yeah.
that our coroner salary is
It's a
near-
little low.
It is really low. Of course,
Just
obviously.
not full-time.
Yeah, obviously, Union County's low because it's a very small county. The others that are lower are not very much lower.
Mm-hmm.
Where do we fall in the average from urban?
We're below the average. The average appears from the counties that they surveyed was 34.6, and he's just under 30.
So would that be an issue that we would address if we, in discussion of salaries, if we go to midpoint?
Well, the electeds are not part of it.
Elected, yeah.
Well, they have been in the past because they've gone to midpoint plus the raise on top of it, and that's how we're paying elected officials more than anyone else.
But the last, I think when we raised to the midpoint, we just raised in by the amount that the average was at the midpoint to keep them in the same perspective.
I was thinking maybe in that coroner's 5%, is that what you were thinking?
I was thinking somewhere in there to get him near the average.
Near the other counties. Let me see where we're at. I think the 29,841. Yeah, the 5% will put them at 31, 333.
Yeah.
And that's closer to,
It would take almost
other
10% to get him to the average. Maybe a little more.
what's your pleasure, council?
Well, if the average is 34.6 and we're a good bit below the average, why wouldn't we just at least do the average? Keeping in mind it's for the position, not the person.
I agree.
Which I know then would raise
It's
the-
actually an increase of about 16%.
Yeah, that's
But a question, if we did 34.6, does that then raise that chief deputy up to 75, even though he's a part-time, does that make any difference?
Is that the way it's set
It's
now?
the way it's
set in the salary ordinance.
Yeah.
So explain it to me, so it's said if we get the
The
corner
chief-
to midpoint,
the
the
chief-
chief goes up too?
Yeah, the chief deputy gets 75% of the elected official's salary. So even though that's an unintended consequence, I still think we should move him to at least the average. But that's just me.
A 10% would put them at 32,825.
But that's still below the
A
average.
little.
That would, you know, I have a tendency to look at when you run for election, you know what that office is paid. Let's don't get too carried away on it.
Well, but we just tried to get all the elected officials with Gary Callahan. We tried to get everybody up where, you know.
But that's a full-time
Oh,
election.
sorry.
That's a full-time election.
I forgot.
I agree with what Gary's saying, but I also somewhat agree with Kathy's thoughts that getting him more to where the average is for counties of our relative size.
I would like to say if we do 10% this year, I don't think we should try to do it all in 1 year, since we're trying to cut. If we did 10 this year, then we can look at it again in next year's budget and see if we can do a little bit better and get more with the, on par with some other counties.
If you took the
10's a
coroner's,
lot.
sorry.
That's okay.
If you took the coroner's position to the midpoint and the 75% for chief deputy, you're less than $10,000.
Are we?
You mean an increase to us?
Total.
Total.
Yeah.
What's the midpoint?
You say 30%.
Oh, you're going to the
To
34.
the average.
How are we, I guess we need to keep in mind that I didn't say Misty when he was here that his preference would be the increases for the 4 deputies
Yeah,
or 5 deputies.
He did.
He
but-
did say that.
He did, but I would concur with Kathy and Max and Jeff too, to say there needs to be, if we pay for a study to guide us on decision-making with how we compare to other counties, we need to honor that study because we've done it with everybody else. So, I hear what he's saying, I hear his plea, but at this point, we've paid for a study. And even, and I could concede the 10% to get us knowing next year we're gonna come back
Yeah.
and make it right.
Plus, we have to figure in the deputies too, because there's no raise right there for them yet.
But that would be included in our, what we're gonna be doing later, right, as we discuss raises?
Not in.
Kim, the deputies,
It's under
Oh,
salary.
I would
request.
be.
are the deputies classified in the system? Warren?
No, she means the,
75%, I don't think.
No.
not the chief deputy, just the deputies in that office, the other.
Oh, okay. No classification in the salary ordinance, so no.
But as we change everyone else with a midpoint, we need to do something for them.
Yeah.
Please don't take this the wrong way, but if we have pretty much the majority of county employees under the classification system for salaries, why aren't these 5 or 4 deputies also classified? Even though they're part-time, why aren't they classified?
Well, they're paid on a stipend. The decision was made to pay them on a flat stipend.
Okay.
So that's one reason.
Well, they're not
So that
hourly.
would be,
They're not hourly employees either. They just are on call a lot, but doesn't mean they're always.
But don't you see that being problematic like I do?
Yeah. And that was for some reason, that was the decision made when this whole thing started with the classification system, I would assume.
Okay.
It's been that way, Kim, since we started this, I
yes,
assume.
it has.
So moving them to the average, 34.6.
You're talking
Is it
about the corner.
Yeah, the coroner is an increase of 47.59. 75% of that salary for the chief deputy is another 35.69 for a total of $8,328 for those 2 positions, if we were to follow the information in the study.
What percentage that increase would that be for the coroner?
16%, I think is what I,
15?
16, I think it is.
Did we take those deputies? 15 with no raise?
They asked for 15.
No, I mean
Instead of
15%.
They asked for a $5,000 raise for each one of those people per year.
So it's another
It's just the
25,000.
Barry, did you say that the difference if we gave the 34.6 and then with the 75% to the chief deputy was 8,348?
328.
328, thank you.
It's actually a 16% raise if we take the corner to the average.
Do you need a motion?
Something or what?
Not yet, let's keep talking about the deputies too.
The deputies should be,
If we raise
they
them,
raised them to 15%.
it's actually 16. We could go 15.
We raised them 15%.
That'd be a raise of $1,600.
So instead of 10,000, they make 11,600.
That would be a 15% increase for them.
And where did that fall in the study for the investigators? It wasn't in the study?
No, because it's not a classified.
Okay,
It's just a slide.
That's where I was kind of going with that.
okay.
Yeah.
So does anybody know in other counties when there's a part-time coroner? I mean, could we have a little time to do some research with counties that have part-time coroner, how much the pay is for the investigators?
We kind of need decision now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we have to kind
We
of
need to make
decide.
decision about salaries today because we need to calculate it, put it to two systems and have it done for 15 to print it on 16 you sign
Yeah.
it and it's done. We will need to postpone adoption, so.
If we realized at a later point we needed to change theirs, we could change the deputies at any time. We could not change the coroner
Right,
after
he's
the
allowed
first of
to.
the year, but we could change the investigators at any point.
Okay.
So if we could put an increase in it now, and then if we find that it's out of line, wouldn't want to reduce it, but we could raise it.
I mean, I think it's a fair raise. I mean, they were asking for a 50% raise, and that's just out of the question.
But that kind of went along with
Yeah.
the big raise for the
Mhm.
coroner itself.
Well, his request to go full-time is not new. That was asked by the previous
Yeah.
coroner as well. So he asked to go from 29,841 to 87,000, equal to all other elected officials. And we obviously said no. So I think going to the average of the 34,600 is reasonable based upon what the request was.
I agree with that.
So do you want to just go with the 16% across the board for the coroner's office? That would make the motion much easier.
Well, didn't Max say we'd wait to deal with the deputy?
Well, you know,
No, you meant if we needed to raise them later.
If we needed to change from what we did today, we can change them anytime. We cannot change an elected official. Right.
And that was $1,600 a piece.
Yes.
It's 8,000, so you're looking at $16,000 in that office.
For all of it?
For all of it.
For all of
And we cut a lot more out of it than that. About 16,000.
it. Yeah. So now Kathy.
Okay, repeat that though. So if we raised everyone in the coroner's department 16%, that puts the coroner at 34,600.
Right.
Or,
That's correct.
and then that,
And then
but the
70%.
motion needs to be, how do I do it? Because we don't want the chief, we don't want to say he gets 16% because he gets.
He gets the
Well,
75%.
he gets the 75%.
So if
Yeah.
if I make the motion that we raise, which I will make the motion that we raise the coroner's department personnel 16% on their salary.
And the chief deputy at 75% of the coroner's salary.
Yes, and the chief deputy is 75%.
It should
of
be, right.
the elected official's salary.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second? Second. We have a second. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Barry, if you got through the budget year and there was an opening in one of the deputy positions and there was a crunch in the budget, you would not be necessarily required to fill that deputy position.
Yeah.
So there's that
Yeah.
built-in discretion that you have.
That's a good
Yeah.
point.
Thank you, Alex.
All right. Next across the board is the assessor, and we already dealt with his this morning. Does anybody have any other questions about that?
So did we get that taken out?
So,
Yeah, she took out the 50,000.
so coroner will be 34,600 right now.
So it'd actually be 34,615.56 if you.
So you can 16.
And Beth, I do have a question. I don't know exactly how it pertains here, but more of just a question with Senate Bill 1 and the other bills that are passed. Do the people that have less than $2 million in assessed or business personal property still have to send in a form?
No.
So do they need as much personnel?
It's just
And
like
then-
now, if you're under the 80,000, you don't have to submit a form.
And
so
I
it'd
think
be-
it's the same way.
And a
when it
lot
goes-
of people can do it online now too. A lot of people.
But you don't have to do it online.
No, but the
So-
ones that do file are online
Yeah.
now.
And then
A lot of-
also on that same topic, question for our auditor. So Mark, do people have to still turn in homesteads when that law changes in January?
Yes.
Only if it's a new one or
If
it's
it's a new
changing?
one. The ones that are currently there, we don't change.
Okay.
They remain there. The only thing we're going to do is take on the new ones.
And does your office lose some deductions and some other things? Do some of those things go away?
Yes, there were
Okay.
several that lost deductions.
Okay. So at some point, maybe the auditor's office, would need less help. But we'll see.
Well, we do know the township assessor did reduce
Yes.
one part-time
Yes.
because of that as well.
Speaking of losing help, the deduction process is minimal in my office. Doesn't take, it's just not something that requires a lot of time. Used to, when we had mortgage exemptions and we took all of those every year, it took a large number of people, but anymore it just does not.
Thank you.
Simona, did you get all the numbers for the court?
I hope so. I put coroner 34,616 because we need to round up.
Okay,
Then chief 25,962.
yeah,
And then all the rest 11,600.
600. Okay, good, thank you. We kind of moved on without you there.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. The assessor, like we said, we just handled all that today, so I think his is fine. Does anybody have any other questions? On to the prosecutor's budget. Any questions there?
Should be good.
It's actually a decrease, isn't it, from the
Okay.
previous year?
They switched around personnel a little bit and things like that.
Okay.
And they are working on bringing money in now from, I can't remember which thing that she told me. Does anybody have any questions about the prosecutor's office? I guess I'll take that as a no. County extension, did you get that one all figured out?
I think we changed the contract amount with Purdue based on what they presented. And the county has signed that contract with them, correct?
Correct.
So that's a significant reduction there.
Mhm.
Yeah, percentage-wise at least.
All right. Township assessor. He got rid of a person and made someone part-time. His salary has been fixed.
Crystal, did they have any questions about my office?
Anything else? County extension, is that I did that. Council. Okay, in council's budget, we've got that big placeholder up there at the top for salaries, which is way more than we're probably going to need. If we do midpoint, right, Max?
Yes.
And then on elected officials, 2%. Because what's happened, they've gotten midpoint and 3% for several years, and the elected officials are actually above where they should be in the Irwin study.
Yes, they're quite a ways above the average of the other counties that's considered by a significant amount.
So we'll give them a raise just to be, so that we're not just
So
not
I guess
giving
my question is why? If we know everybody's above where they should be, then why are we giving a raise?
Everybody or just the elected officials?
elected, and their deputies would obviously be.
I guess that just doesn't make sense to me. If we know we're above, and I know we don't want to get behind, I've heard that argument too, but we're not going to get behind.
I mean, we
need
kind of
to-
created this situation because the last few years we've given midpoint and then added 3%, and that somehow got, I mean, I don't know how we got above, but we gave too much.
I'm
to
not
it.
sure the last time around we looked at the average of the other.
I don't think
counties.
so either, not on elected officials,
Yeah,
maybe.
I think that chart that Irwin provided us was kind of new, that wasn't.
Yeah, I don't, have we always had that elected official chart, have we?
I don't remember.
So when I was speaking about the coroner, and I said we've gone to midpoint plus a percentage raise for elected officials, you said, no, we haven't done that. And now you're saying that's what we've done in the past. We've done midpoint and a raise. And that's what's gotten us
We've done that the last couple budgets.
But there is no
Yeah.
established midpoint for the
We have-
officer.
yeah,
We
not
just
for
ga-
him.
We just gave him the raise comparable to the average jump in midpoint of other positions.
Sorry, I misunderstood that.
But we also have one or two that are under contract, elected officials, do we not?
Sheriff.
Yeah, so those wouldn't apply to that.
Those don't, no, sheriff doesn't apply.
And the assessor is above that based upon the,
Their levels.
their level of.
Right, but
losses.
also, we don't know what we're gonna be looking at after the first of the year yet either.
We
And
have
here we're
some-
asking everybody to cut their budgets and we're doing well.
So I have a suggestion. When Max and I and others were at conference, a couple other counties said what they were going to do this year because of not knowing the actual taxes next year and so forth. They're giving like a one-time stipend. And I did talk to a bookkeeper about how hard would that be to just add that into the payroll rather than something we have to keep then next year. If we just do, everybody gets whatever it is, whatever the magic number is this year, just to give them a raise and say, we appreciate you, here's something. And then next year, look at, do we have money for a raise that we could keep in and move on with?
It's a good idea.
That's what several other counties are doing, so.
So to answer somewhat to Misty's, if we went 2% there, it's somewhat saying a cost of living equivalent. Not saying that that's what we need to do necessarily, but that would be a basis for that.
1% is how much?
Every 1%'s about 200 to 215,000.
But that's across the board for
That's
all
across the
employees.
board for everybody.
Right.
I understand the employee side of it. I'm just because there's still, just like we did with coroner, there's still some departments we need to fix on the midpoint side. But from an elected official standpoint, I go back to what Gary said, which is when you run for the office, you know what you're making and you know what you get. And it's a choice you make to run for the office, right? And if we are already above that midpoint, and as I said this at our workshop, those of us that travel the state know that our elected officials are doing really well here. I think it's not gonna hurt for them to sacrifice right now until we can see where this is all landing.
So I think maybe we separate and make decisions here. I think we would say for all of the classified positions that we would raise them to the midpoint. And then make the decision on the elected officials. I would move that we raise all the classified positions to the midpoint as recommended by our study from Irwin. And just to give an idea of what that amounts to for the public, the lowest is just, the lowest classification midpoint was an increase of just over 4%, and the higher end, I think, was just over 7%. Everybody falls within that range.
The midpoint raise equals $1,023,412,
First deputy.
not including any elected officials.
Right.
So do you think that 1.7 needs to ride for now?
No, I think we wanted to reduce the 1.7
Yeah.
down to what it's actually.
To be 1,023.
No,
Well,
actually, as all the salaries are changed to meet our raise, that would go away.
that will go, well, it'll have to be, yeah, that's right, it'll be gone because it'll happen in each individual line item.
The raises that we will give are less than that
Yeah,
statement
yeah.
there. But the whole thing will go
It
away once everybody's assigned.
but everybody else's budget's gonna go up.
So question, if this is the advertised budget, we can't go up, you're saying we can't go up in line items?
No,
No,
I
total.
think
In the
Total.
total, okay.
That's why we put a high number.
Thank you.
Yeah. So just to tell you, the 2% raise if we did elected officials is 24,346.
How much again, please?
24,346.
That's 2%.
Yeah, it's a 2%.
That 7% at the midpoint, does that include first or chief deputies?
No, that includes different categories. It's
All the
mostly
class-
clerical.
All the classified positions, which includes the jail, the sheriff's enforcement.
Chief deputies always get the 75% of the.
And it's not 7% across the board, Mark. Each
I know.
classification is a different amount.
Okay.
The lowest is just over 4%, the highest is over 7%.
Because the way you're doing it, my chief deputy is going to be the
Chief
lowest.
deputy, 75% of the elected officials.
Right.
So really, we've not saved any money. Is what, if we do the elected officials, that midpoint that you're talking about classified does not include the chief deputies, so the chief deputies need to be included. We haven't included that number yet either, right?
We got these numbers from Amy, I think. You gave us what, or was it you that gave us the midpoint raise? Who told us that? It was you. So then, yeah, did we include the chief deputies in the elected official? I got a feeling we didn't.
Yeah, I don't know where that number comes from.
Okay.
Mr.
You and
President,
I got those numbers from Kim the day we were working on budgets.
Oh, okay.
Mr. President, Madam Chairman, it's
Yes.
10 o'clock.
Thank you, sir. Oh,
Jeff?
we need to.
So do we
Keep
want
that
to agree
thought.
at least on, I mean, if that's our number, the midpoint, and being consistent with what we've done in the past, then, I mean, can we all agree that's what we need to do there?
On the midpoint?
Okay,
Yeah, we
Of
can.
the motion that I made,
yeah.
yeah.
okay.
I don't think
Okay.
you got a second.
We didn't get a second yet. Do we need a
I'll
second?
do a second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Then we've got something decided.
There we go.
So
We'll stop.
Kim will provide the midpoint salaries, because Simona and she can update the spreadsheet outside of here, obviously. We're gonna go through
Yeah,
it.
they'll.
Kim
on the
and
salary
Amy and
ordinance.
others work on the salary orders.
Yeah, we work on the salary
To come with these numbers.
So we need to recess the finance committee meeting right now. And there is a executive session that needs to happen. It was advertised at 10 o'clock.
That's not your executive session, so the record's clear. You're just inviting.
No, it has to happen.
If you wish to
We
come
have
in,
to
you
stop.
may. If you don't, you don't have.
Okay, we're good to go. Let's reconvene the finance meeting. We were still in council budget.
This is your message.
Understand that the very top line, the salary adjustments is what we put in there as a placeholder. That'll go away and the salaries will all be put into everyone else's budget for each line item, each employee's item. So that right there, I mean, I guess we could go ahead and take it out of here for now, just to make our budget look right, but then it'll change when they put it in everyone else's. Right?
Just leave it.
Well, then you gotta put it in everybody else's budget.
They do,
Yeah, I would just leave it for now.
but it makes our budget look overinflated for right now. Okay, here's the other thing. We talked about going ahead and we put the $6 million in our one time for advertising purposes. And Max, are you still in agreement that we should go ahead and put that back to 3? What do you think?
Well, my only concern is to make sure that we have enough to get the maximum levy. And
Yeah.
I think that's probably the case. So if we deappropriate some of
If we-
25 money,
Mm-hmm.
that will reduce the amount that can have an impact on that.
Yeah.
Would we be comfortable going with 4? Putting it 4?
Can I make a suggestion? Leave it in there until you see what happens with the raises to make sure you get the maximum levy.
We still have to cut 4 million, Mark.
Mm-hmm.
We still have to cut 4 million.
Well, we're not
We're
totally
trying.
sure what we need to do. I think you're probably right, but the state can't give us any answers
I
yet.
know. That's just what you and I talked about that day, was putting that back, because we're trying to get our number as close to last year's budget number as we can.
The last year was short of what we could have raised,
Yeah.
and we don't want that to happen.
No, we don't. So,
But if we turn in more than we can have, the state's gonna tell us we gotta cut it anyway.
yeah.
And
I
that's
think that'd be the time to cut it after the state tells us we have to cut it.
I would agree somewhat, because we're counting on the state giving us a number, which is common for them to do.
Mhm.
It's not a bad thing to let them, because
Tell us.
they have really not treating us right, because they can't tell us today how
I
much
know.
money we're gonna have.
I know.
And until they can come with that number, we need to make sure that we're high enough that everything's covered.
Mhm. And if we do deappropriate a couple $1 million this year, it makes it look like we're able to fund the budget better for next year.
Well, it just changes the perspective of
Yeah.
how you're doing it.
Yeah.
You can fund the general fund budget with that $6 million in there.
I don't see how we can, Mark.
He's saying using cash. Basically, it would be an unfunded, it wouldn't be balanced, it would be funded. That's what he's saying.
Well,
Right.
that's two different things, yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed, and I don't think, I guess for me, Mark, just my perspective, that's not how I went into the budget, thinking that's what we were gonna do, because we don't know what next year's gonna be like, 2027.
I'm not recommending that you leave it, I'm just saying that you can fund the budget the way it is.
But if the
With-
state approves it the way it is, because of what you're saying, it still reverts back to the general fund. It doesn't.
Absolutely.
It doesn't, the money doesn't disappear.
If you
No.
don't spend it, it doesn't,
Exactly.
that's just the appropriation, that's not money.
That's right. But the state's not gonna approve if they don't feel there's enough money there to fund it.
If they don't approve it, then I'll
Then we
come
lower
back
it.
to you
And we lower it.
and you make a reduction.
Yeah.
So we're gonna let the 6 million ride for now until we hear back from the state.
But then we're not gonna go back to what our goal was, if we
Well,
don't reduce
that'll get us to
that.
the goal, because then,
Then they'll
when
come
it's all
back
said and
and tell
done,
us.
what the state tells us to reduce, we'll reduce it and be at where we want to.
Yeah.
But then we'll know, right now, we don't know where we need to be. Once the state tells us you gotta reduce this by X dollars,
If they tell us to cut 3 million from that, then.
But that's
where
after
gonna
we
be.
approve the budget, correct?
that's
Yes.
after we approve it, but then the state Well, not until we take action to cut it, deappropriate or whatever.
We have been told that our approval is really not an approval, that the approval comes from the LGN.
That's
But
right.
I'm gonna be on record as an elected official of whether I'm approving a budget that is either balanced or just being funded and using cash. I'm gonna be on record for that, right?
You will be until
Because I don't
the
get to,
point the LGF tells us to cut the budget.
I don't think they will. We have
Oh,
enough
yeah,
cash.
they always do.
I think, yeah.
They always do.
I think this year's so different.
Let it go.
Okay.
The state has put us in the position of unknown.
I
Because
agree.
They can't answer, they can't
I
answer
totally agree.
questions.
I agree. Okay, thank you guys. I'll hold this up.
And everybody in the state is of the same opinion. Last week at AIC,
I know.
everybody wished they knew.
Everybody's
what they had.
upset. I know.
Yeah.
As it stands now, you have 4 budgets that are, you have more appropriation than you have money for. And one of those is not county general.
What are they?
It's bridge, highway, the other one,
Health
40.
department was just sold.
Health department is gonna be fixed. I think it's 40, I don't remember. I got them here someplace.
But on those others, it's the same thing. The state come back and say, you gotta cut X dollars, and we'll take care of it.
Max, were you still gonna sit down with me and let me show you where I am on this?
Yes, when I get a chance, I will, yes.
So on the stipend, we've got 225 because we made that as a, to pay out this year. But aren't we safe just leaving it there just to see what happens?
Yeah, I did a pre-figure for you and it was under that.
Yeah.
And that stipend is for all employees or
Yeah.
Longevity.
longevity?
There's a criteria, it starts at 5 years and it adjusts every 5-year level.
I think we excluded elected officials, didn't we?
Yes. No.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, because Jeff didn't get it. Poor Jeff.
Good job.
Yeah, we did.
We didn't exclude all elected officials.
You only excluded council and commissioners.
Yeah.
Oh, did we? Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And your,
Council and commission
Yeah.
elected officials, okay.
So basically, there's nothing that we're saving in the council budget.
Just
Right.
that 1.7 million will go out of ours and only $1 million of it will get put somewhere else. So we are saving 700,000 after what's been
Okay.
advertised.
Okay.
Have no other notes about what we can do in council's budget. So we still are back to the raise thing. We stopped in the middle of it.
So we're left deciding.
We're left deciding what we're doing with elected officials. Because we decided to do midpoint for all the other employees.
For all classified.
Our elected officials are way above other counties already. Way above.
Well, I think that, we've been doing cuts where we can, and if elected officials are paid higher than what the comparisons are in the Irwin report, then 2026 will be a year that elected officials maybe don't get a raise.
I concur with you on that. For both. The average few years back when council commissioners did not take raises.
Yeah.
We give it to elected officials, I'd be okay with that, including elected officials in the raises. If we're especially if we give them longevity pay. Fine, so.
Does anybody want to make a motion to not give elected officials a raise this year?
So move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any more discussion?
I'll be the one to hate.
That's okay, we got 2 seconds. Any more discussion?
That is all elected officials, or is it just council and commissioners?
No, that's all elected.
Okay, just making sure.
Other than the coroner,
Yeah, because that one was.
which we've already acted on.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? There are none.
So, wait a minute, the one thing you didn't talk about was department heads, which is different.
Right, that is different. Oh, because they all make the same amount of money.
I mean, what you said
Forgot
on
about
elected,
department
that's
heads.
okay, but we need to address.
Well, the department heads, where are they on the
It's,
scale? It's the
uh,
same probably.
I don't think they provide info on that. No.
What was your question?
Department heads.
They're classified as executive ones, and then the attorneys are executive twos on the classification.
And was any of that in the
Is that in the midpoint?
midpoint?
Yeah,
So the bid,
so when we have our classifications, our classifications from Irwin include merit poll, okay, so that's going to be the enforcement side. Special occupation employees, we got a few outliners that are under special occupation. We have PAT, which are your professionals. You have LTC, which is going to be your labor, such as buildings and grounds and highway. You have Comet, clerical, civilian poll, that's going to be the jail, and then your executives. Those are your department heads mostly, and the attorneys in the public defender's office and the deputy prosecutor's office with those attorneys. So that's your executives. So
they're taking.
so there's 7 classifications under the Irwin report.
Okay.
Then the outliner beyond the special occupation is going to be your elected officials and the chief deputies.
So the amount that we had for bring people to the midpoint included department heads?
Yes,
Okay.
that would be executive ones and twos
Okay.
under the classification. Yeah.
So that was already included.
The sheriff
So that's
salary,
what
It's gonna put department
Department
heads
heads above.
above their elected official. What?
sheriff is an elected official, but his salary is based on,
contract. Yeah, it's a contract, separate.
yeah, it's based on
You know?
the prosecutor's attorney salary.
Not-
It's based on the judge's
No,
salary.
not if you go for contract. If he did not have a contract, that would be correct. But since he has a contract with the county and he's negotiated that bypasses that.
Okay, yeah.
That all started several
Collection
sheriffs
fees is
ago.
what
Right, and determining how long his contract is I don't know.
I think his,
2 years.
currently his contract was for his
4 years?
4-year term.
Okay, so then that's what he gets paid that entire term.
Okay.
No, because I also said department heads are required to work all at regular hours, and
Yeah,
elected officials are not. They can
That's right.
have a lot more leniency in their schedule and what they do and what they want to do. That was part of the thinking, because we did talk about that.
and we have elected officials that do
So Beth,
fluctuate that.
I just
What
want to
about-
make sure that I'm following. So we've given a raise to all the employees that are classified. We did not give one to, the coroners and that elected official. We're not giving one to any elected official, but we haven't taken care of yet the chief deputies, and I think there are, what, 7 or 8 of those? Probably. And then you were asking about department heads?
Department heads are already
They're-
included in the raise.
They're included in the midpoint. of the
Okay,
raise.
that's what I thought, but I just want to make sure.
So we
chief deputies is 75% if we elected official.
It's just how it
Yeah.
is. It's how it falls.
But, I mean, if you give 5% raise maybe to others, they will have the same salaries because they get longevity, they get overtime, and if they get 5% increase, I will probably we will be making the same money like our staff. So, it's looking unfair.
Okay, I'm a little bit confused. So department heads include those that report to the commissioners,
Correct.
Yes.
and that's really 5, 6.
Probably 6.
Right? So, I mean, I don't know,
And
they're equivalent to somebody who's working in office as an elected official as far as responsibilities, budgeting, managing people, right?
Essentially.
Yeah.
Somewhat, yeah.
So I don't want us to get confused about responsibilities and roles. Your concern is talking about from a chief deputy standpoint.
Yeah, because we are here many hours, really, many, we don't get
We all work,
overtime, we don't
honey.
get.
Everybody works
I
at
know,
works.
yeah.
It's part of the
I'm
job.
just-
Everybody does.
I'm just saying that we don't get longevity, we don't get overtime. If we don't get raise, we will have just same money like other people in the office for more responsibility.
Well, no, you're not getting the same as other people in your office. And this might be another conversation to have off of.
No, I'm
office.
just saying how it feels.
Okay.
It's the same, I mean, I know elected officials knew what they were making when they got elected, and there's no guarantee that that'll ever go up as far as being elected. And as a chief deputy, everybody knew that they made 75%, which is higher than most other people in that would have kind of the same job responsibilities. So it just is what it is. Does anybody have any other comments on raises or?
I guess my take on the chief deputy is they're getting 75% of the elected official, who's getting more than the average around the state.
Yeah.
So they're still getting more than any other chief deputy in the state probably. So, elected official and chief deputy,
Yeah.
no.
All
Could
right.
we or should we consider just a small stipend for those chief deputies? Because they do a lot, they don't get overtime, but I get and understand what everybody else has said, but I've been in those shoes before as, you know, I'm not sure, I think maybe Jeff was
What's that?
chief deputy, yeah. So, you know, it's just a thought, if you did a one-time stipend for those, so it doesn't look like we don't appreciate the job they do. I don't know, just a thought.
Not appreciating the job anybody does is not our goal ever, but
So why don't we just continue, see where we're at the end, and come back to that if at all possible? Because I'm not opposed to the concept of a stipend competition.
Okay.
Yeah,
It
I think
works.
that's
Yeah,
worth doing.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree, because you also have to keep in mind a little bit that in the absence of that elected official, that chief deputy is in charge and also has those same responsibilities. So,
yeah.
How were, and I have to go back and read the policy, but how were chief deputies omitted from the longevity schedule if they are longtime tenured county employees?
Were they?
Well, she said that they don't, that,
She doesn't qualify because of the years.
Well, but you said we don't get longevity.
No,
okay,
she
so
said
it's the
only
years of
because of how
service.
many
Okay.
years you've been here. Yeah, the only
Okay.
people excluded was council and commissioners from the
thank you.
longevity. Yeah.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah. Any other thing in council's budget that anyone has questions on?
we're gonna let group health insurance ride where it's at, monitor it throughout the year, and consider options like we have in previous years, right, with commissioners?
Correct.
And if they do a holiday, that leaves money in general fund anyway. And we also have a large amount of money coming in from the sheriff's department for unpaid, or from the jail, from the state for unpaid care of inmates.
What do they pay us today?
Is it $37.50?
Yeah, did you see what they're charging the federal government?
No.
The house? It's a lot more than that.
It's a lot more than
I didn't
$37.50.
see that, but that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay,
Let's
on to
see.
the next election.
Election board. We went from no election to having an election this year, so this one's up, but this one. Does anybody have any questions here?
No.
Okay. Commissioner's budget. Get your big scissors out, Barry. He's wanting to cut.
Whose budget?
Commissioners, I think.
Okay. We're shutting this one down, right?
Going out of business.
It went way down because they moved all the stuff to the sheriff's budget. I don't know if there's anything else we need to address in here.
Well,
The-
once the salaries are all figured, then the adjustment on the fringes, FICA and stuff.
That'll change, yeah.
Can I ask, Jeff, have you hired somebody for that?
Not yet. Well,
That's a plan.
we hope to have a decision by Wednesday.
So we could make some modifications on the 16th before we do final approval
Correct.
based upon that.
If you do not have a decision and they do not hire, then what are we going to do with that?
Knock it out of there.
We're gonna cut it.
I was going to say,
So we'll see what the commissioners come forward with.
Thank you.
Anything else? It looks like now we do know the 60,000 in the WCTV will be fine for next year.
In what, Beth?
The WCTV amount should be fine.
If they continue with the same.
We need to put building per gas.
Is that like?
President?
What's the matter?
Yes.
Okay, we need to recess this meeting. Got a problem, we need to evacuate the building for.
Okay.
So,
Let's reconvene after a little bit of excitement today. We had been in the dark and we've had a gas leak scare and now budget should be simple after this, right?
So what's next?
It's a water leak next.
Is it? Oh.
We hope not.
Scheduled for 17 minutes.
Scheduled, yeah. We've had a meeting in the dark and everything else. All right. We were, we were in county commissioners, so we're ready to go to planning commission. So we understand there could be a retirement in that department. But what do we do?
I think that's going to end until commissioners come with a recommendation. Is that right?
That's more about the department head, isn't it, or not?
Well, if you're tying the two together, give us until Wednesday and we'll come back to you.
Okay.
We are tying the two together.
But we get to tell you whether we want to replace this position or not, right?
Hey,
Or not.
You gotta come and request a post.
You approve all positions and
That's
all
right, we
budgets.
do.
We
Don't you
will fly
forget about
whatever
that.
mission you give us.
Okay. So I guess we have to leave that there for now. Hopefully. It'll go next. Okay, is there anything else in planning? No. Okay. IT,
We made some adjustments at another meeting as far as the new security stuff that he's doing, so we're probably in pretty good shape. I've not
I
heard
think
anything.
so. We had him come to our last workshop.
Yeah, and I've not heard anything since. I did, in case not everybody was aware, I did have Bobby send a message to everyone last week or whenever, to review their budgets and allow, and
yeah, I
make
saw
sure
that.
that they didn't have some comments, and that's what brought forth Brandon and a couple others. So.
Okay.
So did we get the two things we talked to Craig about, the phones and then that extra security are in here, right?
The phone has never been brought as a recommendation yet.
He's not ready to do that.
Yeah, he has to come to commissioners with that. It may end up being a one-time thing next year and then put in the budget for the next year. I don't know, we'll have
But
to see.
as far as the security software, we
That's
took
it.
care of that
Okay.
last.
And by the way, I could not get back in the door with this, so it must not work yet. It turned green, but the door wouldn't unlock. Okay.
I just wanted to mention we changed that IT will be focal point for all phones instead of Amy. So just new information for you. Amy will not be focal point for Verizon.
I didn't know she was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
So, court services. With the raise to midpoint, they will be making more than they had asked for to go, for the raise they had asked for. And it is my consensus that we should leave everyone at their 37.5 hours. They're getting a healthy raise. Some of them are gonna work 40. We have money in the overtime line to cover that. That's what I feel we should do, is leave it where it's at. And I did discuss that with Corey today, and he was fine with that. Or Corey. Corey with the gray hair. Adam, yeah.
Well, I think that, and I had said previously that in support of what the discussion from previous council had been about moving all employees to 40 hours, that was warranted, but in lieu of what we're trying to do financially, on top of midpoint, I think we leave them at 37.5, and as the caseload requires those employees to work over, they've got to be there. The court has to be open. We don't control that. And when you look at the report, it's not all employees in all courts that impacts. So I think that I would support what you said, is that we leave it at the 37.5.
Yeah, and we did increase their overtime line by 3,000, so that should cover anything that comes up. If not, we give them some money because we have to.
So, okay, so when I'm looking at this budget, that includes them going to 40 hours. So what?
No, we took that out.
Well, it's still.
No, it's still in there.
Oh, it's
No,
still in there?
it's still in there.
Oh, it is. So
So-
we need to
Not
put those
decided on
back.
that.
Okay.
Okay, so I just want to make sure that includes anything that says 10711, like court reporter, bailiff,
10706 down.
legal.
Yeah.
Okay, so all those will go back to 37.5, but then the midpoint that we voted on later will be
Well,
applied.
yeah.
Okay.
So, do you want to have to change those twice, or do you want to just change it once when you, those all need to be back to the 25 amount of
Okay.
53,001.
So all location 0 to 100, and what was the second one? So this one all will go back to normal?
All the ones
All
that
of
say
them.
increase to 40 hours will go back to
Okay.
their, the salary from 25, and then obviously, the midpoint raise will put them back up, but the 37.5 hours is gonna still stay, if that's what everyone agrees with.
If all of them was working overtime to get to 40 hours, that'd be something different, but they're not, so I have to agree with you on this.
Do we have a consensus, or do you want to take a vote?
You said you spoke to Adam today?
I did.
Okay, he was okay with this?
Well, I think in
Well, they might
fairness to
not be.
Adam, the judges
Yeah.
asked for it,
Yeah.
so I didn't really ask Adam for his.
I didn't,
No,
Because
he wanted to know if he needed to stay for any more questions, and I said, here's what I'm thinking, and he said, I'm fine with that, so.
I mean, he has
But
to
it's
take
up
it
to
back
us.
to, it's up to us, but he has to communicate it to the
Yes.
judges.
Yeah.
Right. And then also remembering that we provided another employee for all the judges to share too.
Mhm.
Yes.
That's why I'm not.
Yeah, we've added one person to be shared by the courts.
I voted yes on the extra person. No, I was not.
And we're going to go ahead and give them the additional 3,000 more on.
On overtime
Okay.
to help cover.
I think that's a good compromise.
So is everyone just okay with that? I don't hear anybody disagreeing, so I don't think we even.
I am with the raise that they're, bringing it up to that
Midpoint.
point and the additional, I'm all right with that.
Okay.
Well, I'd make that motion.
Okay, we'll have a motion.
That way it's in
That's
the
in,
minutes.
okay.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? There are none. Okay. The same applies to Superior 3, because it was all the employees in both of those courts. And there's even a couple there's one or two people in 4D, I think, that is the same thing. What about probation?
Sona, did you get that in Superior 3?
I got only probation 200, so I didn't get so far yet, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
It's just,
There was,
yeah, probation, yeah. So probation goes down to 0 to 3, 5, 2. So instead.
not probation,
Not
we're
probation.
in Superior and Superior 3.
Okay.
They need to go back to the same amount as 2025,
Okay.
and they'll get the raise.
So it's only 1, 2, 3, okay. Okay, how about CASA director, because it's not about hours, it's just a grand amount, 55 instead of 53.
It should go back to the 25 amount.
Also, even if it's not about hours.
53,266, yeah.
Okay.
And we don't change the raises in probation because those are state.
Well, is the new amount that they put in, is that the state recommendation, or did they, because I thought I heard that courts were not, that the state were not changing this year.
They said it increased with accordance with Indiana.
Okay, I see
Salary
now,
schedule.
and I thought something
That's
was
your
with that
note, I
was
think.
different. Okay.
I heard that those were like raises for 40 hours plus 5 and that they recommended, so.
Well, there's a few of these
In fact,
lines.
some of them didn't increase,
Didn't.
but the only ones.
Yeah, for instance,
They're paid
line,
out of 2 funds,
Okay,
so it would be the 2 together would be their salaries.
okay.
Even though it looks like
Oh, okay.
one amount, and the 2,000 fund, they're paid from there too.
Oh, okay.
Those have to be added together.
so that's line 10-260 is one of those.
So one probation officer's salary is still
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
raised. Number 10260 is more than,
No. Oh, yeah.
yeah, it is. More than 2025.
I believe some of that's also figured on their
Years of
years of service.
Is it?
So
Okay.
they have an increase in.
But that's like,
possibilities
that
of
person
service.
makes way less than everyone
It could be
else.
their first 5 years.
Okay, okay.
I mean, we can
Gotcha.
check.
Oh, yeah, probation officer number 4
Is
makes
same.
less than the other ones too. Okay, so it's just how it pans out. So probation officer number 13, 10470. I would like more than double. Do we know why? Did they go from part-time to full-time or something?
No, I believe she's paid out of JRAC, and this is just the difference.
Okay.
But let me check for sure. Oh, no, he's new, he's brand new.
New? And
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, 10472 is JRAC, I'm sorry. 10470, he's like just got hired this year.
So, okay, so it was only funded for part of the year.
Yeah, we only had it funded for like half, less than half the salary. One more question, the 10933 clerical person, it actually went down.
No?
No.
Oh, no, it was 44.7. I thought it was 47. That one has been raised.
And that shouldn't be from
So
a
you should
state.
put it back to normal?
Let me see.
Okay.
That would not be affected by state rates, right?
I wouldn't think so. A clerical person in that office?
So going back?
It should be the
We're waiting for
44,790.
Amy to say for sure. Kim, that person 10933, a clerical one position in that.
That's a Yeah, it's a comment 3. It's a clerical position.
Yeah, so
But it
for
went
some
up.
reason it has a raise.
Like $3,000 or $2,000.
I don't know why.
Okay, so it needs to go back to 44,792.
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Does everything else look okay in their budget?
The only, and I don't know what this is, so Barry or Jeff, you'll have to, so with them moving away from JDAI, the ankle bracelets for juvenile, we're gonna have to pay for now, because that was paid for out of JDAI grant. But I don't know if that's in the probation budget, or is there a different?
That would be the
I
community
honestly can't
corrections.
answer
That's a community corrections, okay, all
So
right.
you say it would come out of community corrections?
Yes,
Okay.
community corrections pays for
Thank you.
home detention.
Okay, so I just know that was one of the things that Judge Cox said to me about from the juvenile standpoint. That would be a hit.
All right, let's move on to the public defender.
So these.
10906, the secretary. Would need to be reverted back to 25.
So all of those
All the
attorneys went
attorneys
up.
have a raise in there.
Yeah,
Well, do they match the prosecutor?
From the state.
Is that what happens, Kim?
Yes, I think so, because they're supposed to match.
Okay.
Well, in the prosecutor's office, the salaries for 26 are the same as what they had for 25.
For this year, the attorneys should be at 108,614,
615?
or 15 rounding up.
So but for next year, they have 114,046.
They just built that in.
They did that?
Themselves,
Yeah.
yes.
So those need to go back.
So
So the,
administrative assistant too?
and the secretary, everything right there in the,
And then the midpoint raise will apply.
Yeah.
then.
Okay.
Now, a note that's on, the note in there says each PO salary, no, that's probation, excuse me.
Same with the administrative assistant.
administrative assistant all the way down to part-time investigator, all need to go back. quite a hefty raise.
And none of us know why?
He just did it, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, do the judges oversee this? Who oversees the
Public Defender's Office.
judges?
Judges do currently.
Yeah.
They recommended 5% increase.
Okay.
So we're going back.
Yeah.
Is it Judge Drake? Isn't she over public defenders?
I thought Judge Warren was.
Okay. Anything else in the Public Defender's budget? They did lower their contractual professional.
They did, they
And
used
this,
supplemented the PD funds.
Yeah. Okay, EMA. We also met in the workshop. Well, that's been a couple months ago, I guess, but
Yeah, there's not anything there.
nothing new. Okay.
And up through last year even, Wayne County qualified and received reimbursement for a percentage of the salaries for the 3 employees in EMA.
All right, Building Commission. I don't think I had anything in there. It's not a very big budget. Any questions?
No.
Building and grounds. They almost lost an employee this morning. The guy was out there blowing leaves right in the driveway with his back. He wouldn't move. I was like, well, I'm coming in. You better get out of the way, buddy. It's pretty
Just bare
straightforward.
bones.
Yeah, there's not much in there.
Maybe Randy can share some of his cleaning supplies.
You know what, I actually was just thinking that, I'm glad you said it.
That's hilarious. Okay, let's go to the jail. I am happy that the midpoint raise is going to raise the jail employees up quite a bit. And that'll be, Randy will be happy about that. I'm sure it'll be easier to find people to work and keep them here.
So we just have a part-time animal control officer? It's just part-time?
Yeah, they do part-time animal control, part-time civil process.
They're a full-time position, but it's split.
It's split into 2 different jobs.
Okay.
Because we had nowhere to take animals for a long time. We didn't need an animal control officer to go get anything. I think commissioners have that handled for us now. Anything else in the jail? Do you know of anything else?
The only thing, nothing that will be budgeted, but we're gonna have to have a conversation about next year in consideration is we have a significant radio communications problem within the facility. We're gonna have to address that radio system. So,
Okay, in the jail.
we're looking at options. The most economical, I think, is probably what'll end up going to commissioners from the sheriff and from Allen about how to address that. Because the current system we're building won't help us inside the jail, and we can't use resources on the tower. So there are some technologies involved, and we have some options, but we're not even close to being able to have that conversation with commissioners yet.
He did have a lot of money in his budget this year, Max, for supplies and cleaning and janitorial. But it looks like maybe they almost doubled that on him, so that's pretty crazy.
That's a lot.
It is a lot.
Insane.
I know.
That's 80,000 between those two.
I know.
What is the return of fugitives? The sheriff may have said, and I don't remember, 10,000, but what is that exactly?
Return of a fugitive is, if a fugitive is picked up on our warrant in another state, and after either that person waives extradition or they have to go get a governor's warrant to go get that individual, then they have to either fly to go get that individual, bring him back, or drive to go pick up that individual, bring him back.
Oh, okay, thank you.
I have a question about the QCC stuff. Are there other people they can negotiate with for that?
They put that out for bid.
They put it out for bid? Okay.
Did you have
It's
two?
awful.
What's that?
Did you have two responses on that
The QCC.
last year?
I don't recall.
So Jeff, did that used to be in-house and then it went to contract? The medical care?
The medical care has always been subcontracted out.
Has it? Okay.
Yeah.
The diddle was in.
We went to 24/7. Gary, you were president of the council then, and Ron was involved in that with me. Probably 2012 or 13, we went to 24/7 medical due to the fact that so many of those being incarcerated had such associated issues of health. It was cheaper to have someone in there 24/7 than it would be to take them, always taking them to the hospital or everything else. And just like, as we all know, medical insurance has gone up, medical care's costs are keep going up.
Yeah.
That's why
And you're doing it
they
in the jail.
contracted out for so many years, and Ron works very hard with the current sheriff on that to make sure that those contracts are as fair as possible.
Just a question.
Yeah, it's just increasing so much.
I know, it's ridiculous. Okay.
Actually, they scrubbed part of the contract, I believe, and I'm assuming it's still that way, is that the health provider that we have also scrubs those bills and works with those that are billing the county to
Oh,
make
yeah.
sure that they're getting the best price possible. So,
Part of paying that healthy fee is, one of the benefits of that is the jail inspection report that we all just received a copy of, and the accreditation,
right.
which impacts insurance.
Yeah. Is the dental now included in that QCC?
Yes.
Okay.
Under the new contract.
Because, yeah, that became a problem a couple years ago, didn't it? Okay. Next is drainage board. I think we can
Next is what?
drainage board. Keep on going. It's a $3,000 budget. I think we're good leaving that one. Okay, 4D, we have the same problem with, let me see here.
Our salaries are the same.
Are they the same? Oh, good. Oh, I was thinking there was somebody they had raised up in there, but there's not. Unless we put them back already.
And their budget didn't go up.
Okay, that's good. So, next, soil and water.
So for the
Is that all figured out?
conservation education coordinator position, 10352, we are still working with sanitary district and soil and water in Wayne and Union County to negotiate an interlocal agreement. That has not been achieved yet this year. I think commissioners are continuing to work on that, and the percentages that would apply for each entity. And while we had no intentions of 2026 being a continuation of reorganization within WR and soil and water, it's going to push into 2026, and we're going to continue continue in that reorganization and new interlocal agreements. Jeff, correct me if I'm wrong here. But based on what we're trying to pursue with Richmond Sanitary District and recycling, it would be my recommendation that the conservation education line continue in this budget in 2026.
Okay. And if we get reimbursed, that would be great for some of the salary, but that may not happen, huh?
I would anticipate that we would experience some reimbursement at some
Okay.
point in the year. But it really depends on what's in the interlocal agreement and who becomes the housing agency. So the next part of that is the sanitary district has expressed an interest in supervising that position
On a daily basis.
On a daily basis.
Okay.
And they're gonna take that on, and if they're contributing 50% of the revenue to fund that, Jeff and I agree that that's a good approach, because that educator's position really fulfills a responsibility within Richmond Sanitary District.
Okay.
So the cost to the county should be something like 40% of salary and fringes for that position minus $10,000, which Soil and Water is going to contribute. So 50% from Richmond Sanitary, 10% from Union County Soil and Water, and then that leaves 40%.
Okay.
Wayne County Soil and Water is going to pay $10,000. We pick up the balance of that. So the question, and this has been this way for years, is the full amount of the cost of that position is in the county budget with the expectation that we'll collect reimbursement from some of the other entities. So whether that has always happened in the past, I don't know, but if that's the way we approach it, that we'll make sure that we either get reimbursed or we discontinue that position or recommend that to you at some point if we feel like we're not going to get reimbursed.
Okay.
But in the past, that reimbursement has had through Soil and Water trying to do it. And
Correct.
we don't know that they really got that done.
Correct.
This agreement, if it goes forward, is originally would the county would be responsible to bill those other entities.
Yeah, I think
But
you said
this-
the auditor would be responsible for that.
Yeah, but they're still in negotiation with the sanitary district to come with a final agreement that could
Correct.
still make some changes. I did talk to Soil and Water, and as far as the other items in the budget, they're good for what's here. That's what they requested, and that's where we're at.
Hey, could I ask, since we're talking about soil and water with the federal shutdown, are those folks working somewhere?
Have we, well,
Our people are currently working from home. We're gonna work on that and figure out a way, but they are not able to use the building where their offices are, so
and the
we'll
reason they're
figure
home
something
and
out.
not in one of our facilities is a connectivity issue that they have with the federal system.
And just for the folks watching, the building that they work out of belongs to the USDA, which is federal.
Correct.
It's leased, but
It's leased.
So it's,
My expectation is that we will bring them into one of our buildings. They've worked through the connectivity issues, so that's been fixed, but we haven't had everyone available to have those conversations.
last week when they called, wanted to know what to do.
We were at AIC.
Yeah, we were at the IC, and there were too many things involved, so we just said, stay at home through Monday. Monday will be decided and they'll be notified what to do.
thank
There's
you.
another vote today too, hopefully they'll
Dream on.
end this thing, but who knows. Okay, so our last thing is fairgrounds.
So, am I to understand, when I look at this, there's only a part-time, a maintenance person, and then it says just fairgrounds. I assume that's another person. There's just 3 people that operate basically 2.5, that whole?
Yep.
Wow.
pretty good, isn't it?
Good job.
Except for that corner where soil and water has all their stuff.
We don't take care of that corner.
Did we
But
get
there are
a,
some, there's a contractual line item, so some of the mowing and
Extra
so on, for
mowing.
example, is done
Yeah.
That's a lot for
contractually.
2.5 people to do.
did we get a new director hired? That's the
Well, it's the
The
same.
sales and marketing coordinator.
sales and marketing, thank you.
We'll be doing interviews next week.
Are you? Good. You have any good prospects?
A couple.
Good. I'm glad. That's good. So I don't think there's anything else in
Yeah,
there
that's
that we need
amazing.
to deal
There's
with.
something out there that's amazing.
So.
So we don't know where our numbers are yet.
Well, we left the one-time high, so that's not gonna bring that number 3 million. We were gonna be with, if they make us reduce that, we are somewhere around 1.6 over what we were last year.
So the only other piece was just, and I guess we don't have to today, it was a stipend for chief deputies.
And I did ask Amy, and we have 8 of those, right?
7, I believe, after I recount.
7 of the chief
I think
deputies.
so.
Okay.
It's a quick count, I guess.
I just feel like it would be a smack in the face to them if they didn't get something.
I agree.
Even though they're not the elected official, but like Jeff pointed out, when that official's gone, and we've seen that a lot of cases, the other person has to step up and do a lot, so.
I mean, we could do the 2% for the deputies, but it goes against our rule of them making 75% of that.
So maybe we change
Well,
it to
actually,
70%.
can we,
What's the history
Is it a
behind
rule or
that,
is it-
Jack?
It has gone up to 75%. It was originally 70%, so it's worked its way up over the years.
Okay.
75% is where we're at now. Again, as Kathy suggested, a stipend that you can adjust next year if need be, doesn't go into the base salary, so they would still be getting 75% plus a stipend if you want to go that route.
Yeah.
And then you can revisit that next year. So there's a lot of ways to skin the cat, but the 75% is your policy. It's a council policy that has increased, in my experience, from 70% up to 75%.
so then this is a question, but we need to pick either a dollar amount to just say it's 500 or 1,000 or whatever. Well, there's only 8 of them, so I don't know.
I mean,
2% would be
They're-
$1,750.
no, not 2% of the
80%.
deputies'
Well,
salary. We're
you're
just
right.
doing
I
deputies.
figured it on
It would be
the wrong-
1316. The 2% would be $1,300.
yeah.
Do you want to just round it up to say 1,400, just to make it easier for bookkeeping?
I mean, I'm okay with giving them a stipend like that, but I think that's good.
I think it's very healthy. I think it's very nice and generous.
Do you need a motion, or are we still,
Well, if you had a motion, then we could act on that.
motion what?
If we had a motion, then we could say
Just
yes.
include an amount, because that way we'll know what we're voting on.
But now, I'm not sure how to make the motion, because there are some chief deputies that are like in probation that,
Well, that's a department head. That's
That's
not an
department head.
elected
I didn't.
Yeah.
deputy.
I didn't
This is
count.
just for
Elected,
money.
chief
Okay.
deputy for elected official.
okay, so we don't have any judge that has anything like that. Anybody else? Okay, so I will make the motion that we give all of the chief deputies in the county, and there are 8 of those this year, a stipend, a one-time stipend, or add it to their salary of $1,400 each. Right? Okay.
Do I have a second?
A second.
Any more discussion?
And that's how much per, how, that's a 2%?
Basically, it's 2% of their salary.
Okay, what we,
It's just a
we did a
one-time
flat
stipend,
fee.
though, it's not,
I'm sorry.
it's not a raise, though, it's just a
Right,
stipend.
get
one
that.
time. Yeah.
What'd you say, Barry?
It's a flat fee, so it's $1,400 on the base, so it would not be a percentage based on certification pays or anything.
It wouldn't
Okay.
go to perf,
Yeah,
it wouldn't go
no.
to.
Yeah.
As long as it's a stipend,
Right. That
I'm
was the
okay.
motion.
But if it adds to the salary, then I am not.
No, it's just a stipend.
He has
That was the
spoken.
motion.
Gary
And
has spoken.
He has spoken. And we had a second from Max, so any more discussion?
Wait, Jeff has a question.
It does add to perf calculations and FICA calculations. So
Yeah, they
since
do
they're
have to
being
take.
paid, so
But it's not a
it's
permanent.
not
it's
that
minimal,
much.
yeah.
We can absorb that, but just so you know.
Yeah. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? There are none. Motion passes. That's all we have to go through.
Is there any budgets on the non-general fund that we need to look
There's,
at? I'm not saying there is, but.
There. Where are those? Oh, there. Other funds. There's a couple funds that, let me see here. The jury pay fund, it has a really high balance and a big budget, but it's never, it's not used all the time.
Really, that's, they have no control over that.
Mhm.
They could
Yeah.
go with no jury trials for a good period of time, or they could have several.
Yeah. We do have a budget for 4902. And what's that?
40.
Yeah, the 4D. It's just 4D that we already looked at,
Yes.
or is it another fund?
Well, back to the jury part though, were you referring that there's a healthy balance already that hasn't been used, so do we really need to budget as high? Is that what you're referring to?
It has a big budget, but it has a really healthy balance. I guess it's just an observation.
Okay.
Well, it doesn't get spent unless they have a lot of trials.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's what Jeff
Right.
basically said.
Yeah.
But if they do have more trials, then they would need it.
And actually, where the 4D court is concerned, the prosecutor and the clerk could agree to, along with the 4D court, to put part of that, I think it's Fund 8895 or 8897, as they did a couple of years ago, could say, hey, we want to put some money into this,
If you go
if
back
they were
to,
to get short of funds.
if we go back to the 4D fund,
The 4D fund or the 4D budget?
the 4D fund
Okay.
budget, they did put raises.
For two of them.
Yeah, we put a salary adjustment in there, 20,000, and they also put raises in there, and one of them is to move to 40 hours, and we're not doing that.
Right.
Good catch. So,
Yeah, we need to go back to the 25 low.
yeah, they need to go back to 25. So the 119,445 should be 125,417.
Should not, it should be
Should be.
119.
Oh, it should be, yeah, the 125 should be 119, I said it backwards.
And the second one,
The court reporter 53001. Now, they raised their retirement and their group insurance, was that because they made those raises, or is that,
No,
that's just?
Can we change gears for just a minute?
oh yeah, they did change that.
On the general fund, on the elected officials training, I see that that's been zeroed out, at least for 2025 and 2026.
Shouldn't be.
So
So it shows on mine,
which one do you want, Jim?
1217. general fund, the county general fund, the elected officials training.
Okay.
So we use that every year.
County General, and what was the location, please?
1217.
1217's the fund.
Fund, okay, it's not general.
Budget's that,
What budget
Oh,
is
no,
that, Jen?
that one was, that fund, they gave us paper. We will use it next year, it's why it's in, but we got paper budget that it's already inserted in. It's not zero, there is budget.
It's not
but-
zero?
No, it's
Okay.
not, but they already
That's
got it.
what we use when they hire somebody
Right.
and they need to train for a couple weeks ahead of
Okay, so
time.
it's not zeroed out.
No, no,
should
no,
be.
it's not, I'm sorry.
Okay,
This
thank
one,
you.
it's just inserted in because we never had it in projection, but to be able to use it next year, we put it in this year, but it was already inserted.
Oh, okay,
We got
thank you.
budget in advance,
All right, thank you.
sorry for that.
So back to this 4D fund, there's things there that still aren't right. Because it has a $20,000 salary adjustment as the first line, like we did for council.
Yes, that's 20,000.
So that'll go away. That needs to go away and everything be put back to 25 numbers. And then they'll get a raise, right? Those employees will get the same raise?
yes.
Okay.
Well, the classification.
The classifications, yeah. And did they increase their social security, retirement, and group health because they put their own raises in there?
Yeah, they did.
So those numbers need to go back also,
And then be adjusted.
and then be adjusted.
Mhm.
Okay. All right, that's one of my notes. And I think the only other two funds that highway and bridge are just, we don't have to worry about those.
Right.
So we'll see a difference in the bottom line when the salaries are put in and that large amount comes out of council's budget, that salary adjustment line. And the 20,000 in that budget will come out. Not county general, but I think that's all the notes we have of things to look at. Barry, you didn't cut hardly anything today. You scared me this morning. He was in a cutting mood.
Well, I'm hoping that when the state comes back with,
They cut.
they tell us what we need to cut, we can accomplish that out of
Yeah.
our
Our one-time line.
one-time.
Yeah.
I hope so.
So
I
quickly
think it
before we
should.
go, the number 4013 recycling, is that based on our restructuring of,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Of the
And that needs to
losses.
stay with us?
Yeah.
Well, it will now, because the revenue, that's a dedicated non-reverting fund, that the revenue was received from the tipping fees under the previous ordinance.
Okay.
That position is currently vacant, and the commissioners are leaving that vacant until we get the restructuring.
Okay, thank you.
So now Kev and Simona and Amy can get to work on the salary ordinance, right?
Yep, thank you for that.
Have
And
fun.
just question about the December holiday from insurance. Will be
That's
decided
not our
later?
decision, that's
Okay.
commissioners, and they
Okay, I
haven't
thought
said.
that you also,
They
okay,
haven't said yet.
okay.
They've talked about it, but not
So I need to,
recommended.
They probably will consult us.
Probably next month, I
okay,
imagine.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for
So-
making this easy, I appreciate it.
That's okay. So, Health Department needs to deappropriate at workshop when that's advertised. Are we going to deappropriate 2 million out of our one time, or are we going to leave it? It's up to you guys.
I think we should wait till we get
Just
back to
wait
the
till they
state.
tell us?
Agree.
Okay.
And then do the combination or whatever works best to fulfill their direction.
Okay. All right, we only have one thing on January so far, so we're doing good.
We'll have to approve the
We have nothing.
EDC and the tourism budget first meeting in January.
Mm-hmm. And appropriate their money. Sometimes
Yes.
that gets tricky because EDC needs their money right away. When is our first meeting in January?
Not until like the 7th.
We may have to meet earlier because they need, oh, let me see.
Traditionally, EDC's return money just about every year.
Yeah, they have, but they,
But they won't have any.
They won't have
They won't have
any
any authorized
funds.
expenditure.
They might not return anything this year.
I bet they will.
We may have to meet that Monday, January 5th, and appropriate their budget. We had to do it early. Not this year, but last year, I think.
We'll do it on the 5th. Couldn't wait till the 7th.
I don't know. I'll ask Val what she thinks. It depends where payroll falls and all that kind of stuff.
I don't have the schedule with me.
We can talk to Val and see. Because I know she's called before and said, we have to have our money.
Can we appropriate that in December, effective in January?
Effective in January 1st
No.
or something? I
You
don't
can't
think so.
appropriate it till
I
next
think
year.
we've always had to wait till
Okay.
after the 1st. Okay.
Beth,
Yeah,
just a
we'll deal with that when it
reminder to
comes.
you that I will not be here on the 16th, or to you and Matt.
Oh, that's right. I hate that, sorry. But I think you know now what's, pretty much what's going on.
Good.
You're where we're at on budgets anyway, so.
Yep, yep.
The only thing that's unknown is what the commissioners are going to recommend on that position, unless something comes up between now and then.
Okay. Yeah, with the
So don't
Okay.
get too big of a tan or
I'll try that.
All right. If there's nothing else, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.